You have served on various boards as director and as chair of the board. When we look at governance frameworks, they tell us the obvious things about a board chair. A board chair chairs meetings of the board. But could you tell us the other things that a board chair does for an organization outside what's the usual that we know?
Fortunately, and I've got to thank God, I've had the opportunity, and I thank God for this, and for those people who support me, the opportunity of actually sitting on boards of different types of institutions, if I may say. You know, in the not-for-profit world, I used to be on Junior Achievement, Duke of Edinburgh International Awards.
Yes.
In the professional side, I was on the SCCA Council, I was on the IFAC Board, the National Federation of Accountants Board, and Nominating Committee. And I'm delighted that at one time you joined the International Ethics Standards Board for accountants. And then on the regulatory board, because at the CMA I used to sit on the board. And then some good corporate entities thought or took the risk of saying, you know, let's take you on the boards that I've sat on, you know, Stanbic, EABL, UBL.
Yes.
Now, the chair's role, it is one of these roles that there are certain things that are written down. I mean, you teach, we tell people what the role of the chair is. Sometimes it's in the law, sometimes in the act. But to be honest with you, when you get there, it is totally different dynamics. First of all,
you're absolutely right, because it's something I can't write. I don't want to write chairs the board meeting. Okay. No. Yeah.
So when you get there, first of all, you get in the early part, you get into a team that you are not responsible for suggesting, selecting, or interviewing.
Yes.
So you are on the board. There are other partners. So then you are given the chair. For me, actually, one organization took the risk. I joined the board as a chair. I hadn't been on the board. But what happened? It is actually a people thing, and there must be a lot of element of trust. You must exercise a lot of humility. You must exercise a lot of diplomacy. The things they don't teach you at Makerere University or MOOCs or even Harvard or even Stanford or even Cambridge for that matter. But the other thing is that it also going to very much depend on the organization. I have been very fortunate that I have been in organizations that are well established. They have got corporate, they are subsidiaries of big entities that take corporate governance at the top.
Yeah.
However, what have you got to do? What do you need really to be an effective chair, if I may turn it around? First of all, you need to have a very good board that has diversity, the board that knows its role. The board members that have gone there, board members should be paid. But those who have not gone there, because there is good remuneration. Sometimes someone asks me, I am looking for a board position, but I want only a board that pay well. I think you better go and look for a job if you want board that pay well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, you have served on a board where you're not paid.
Yeah,
I have also done the same.
I mean, all these professional organizations. So you need a good board, and if you don't find it there, as board members retire, you need, as a chair, to have a good influence of what you need. These days we do skills matrices. Yes. You know, these days you want ESG, digital, and so on. But you want really to have a board that has people who, first of all, identify with the purpose of the organization, but above all, have got high standards of integrity. They will understand the business, and they are very clear what they are there to do. You do not, a danger as a chair, you must watch out, either in meetings or in the processes, of board members who want to be managers of the business.
Yeah.
It's a very high risk, especially when you bring, now we talk about specialists, experts in this and so on. The danger is they should not be managers. They should know where their role, where to stop. Then, of course, you need a good chief executive. And it is very, very important that the board is involved in selecting the chief executive.
Yes.
Because, you know, they do the job. We are board members, but we are not there every day. We know them every day. So once you have a good mix of board members who have high integrity, who are there to identify and serve the organization, who are willing to dedicate the time, then you must open that line for both the CEO and the board members.
Yes.
That if there is an issue, the phone is here, the WhatsApp is here, so that we all the issues we can discuss some issues
open lines of communication.
open lines of communication.
Yes.
Now I don't like having meetings before meetings on an issue with board members. But if board member has an issue, they should feel free to tell you as the chair,
Yes.
Chair, since we had that meeting, I've been thinking about this thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
I said, that's a good idea. Yeah. Let's get it to the board. Let's put it on the table. The board members should have their ears and eyes open out there, so that they can know what is happening within the environment. So I've said good board members, yeah,
Integrity.
good CEO.
Yes.
Then there is that person who is sometimes underrated, called the company secretary.
Yes.
The company secretary is a very, very critical person, and now I think we are now calling them company secretary and the governance officers and so on, because it is that link that between you, the chair, and the board member and the chair, and also the management. Now, the other thing is that we can be there at the top. Chairman, you come in, and there was a board where the chairman had a special chair with a different color and so on. You can come and sit in that and direct meeting. When he walks in, exactly, everybody,
the chair has walked in.
Yeah, but nobody, even all the boards I sat on, nobody stood up for me when I walked in. Can you imagine? Yeah. But that company secretary that can always say, Chairman, you work the agenda with the company secretary. Chairman, you remember this matter at the last board meeting, brought this and this and this. Now we need to find a way of handling it. There is that matter that was supposed to be and has not been completed. The management feelings are like this. This is the air, this is the temperature that exists in the organization. How do we approach this? Then, of course, keeping the proper records, making sure that working with the company secretary, you are training and developing your board, you are identifying the skills, you're working to get to refresh the board, as it were, and you're doing that. So the chair's role, therefore, becomes it's a generalist role. You may come there as an expert in governance and so on, but when you get there, you are dealing with people.
Yes.
In many cases, and a good board, you are dealing with busy people.
Yes.
You are dealing with people who know what they are doing. You are dealing with people who now watch out those who may have own interest in being on the board.
Yes.
We do a lot of training, and we see quite a lot of that who have an interest. Yeah, I need to get on that board because if I'm there, then this happen. And then open, as you said, open those lines of communication.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you are the chair. You should help give direction. You should help conclude. But you are dealing with people who are experienced. And to be honest with you, as I said, I have been very, very fortunate that I have got that. Now, there are those guys, those people we call EXCO.
Yes.
Very, very, very important team. Because we can sit here at the top as a board and so on. If we do not have a good EXCO. And this is why I believe that the board should be involved in the selection of EXCO. Let the management do all the tests and all this stuff, and then get that. But I think if you have a good EXCO, you have a good CEO, as a chair, your job will be very, it won't be easy, but actually you'll be able to achieve the targets and objectives. And open also that line of interaction. You do not want the hierarchy where if you want to speak to the CFO, you have got to go through the CEO. Make sure that the CEO has confidence and trust in you. It's all about trust, in fact.
Yes.
Trust that, when you go and speak with the head of IT or CFO, you are talking about this issue. Yeah. In fact, one board, and it's UBL, we every quarter, board members would have a lunch in a free atmosphere with EXCO team.
Oh, wow.
We just do it, have lunch and talk about issues, and they tell us what is happening and so on. Because the reports are good to get, but I think when you are in that atmosphere, you do that. So the chair, you got to feel that, initiate.
Of what's happening.
Yeah. Share knowledge. Share knowledge as a chair. I like sharing articles. Share knowledge as a chair. So It's an important role, but to be honest with you, the success is on the quality and integrity of the board you have, the CEO, the company secretary, and also the executive. So this has been a privilege for me, and you know, and I think I've learned quite a lot on the job.
Oh, yes. And when you think of the company secretary, if you look back historically, it was minute taker. I like reading and observing how that role has evolved. You know, from a minute taker to a governance officer of an organization. And you also touched on an important issue. If you have the fundamentals in place, fundamentals being good board secretary function, good directors, competent, integrity, excellent team, then actually the board will have an easier job. Most of the time, when you have issues, you've got to go back and ask. Of course, there's the other issues like culture, but if you don't have the right team, the board will pay the price for it. So very, very important that the board selects the right people to come on board.